Well, hello everyone and welcome to this session. We're really looking forward to hearing from Jess Boyce today. She's from over the water in America and we're really appreciating her coming to us in the morning at 9:30, I think it is, over there. So Jess is a former secondary maths teacher who now serves as an educator innovation lead on the FlipGrid team. She's passionate about technology and education and trying new things. She works with teachers to make their classrooms as fun and innovative as possible, and she lives in Florida and loves reading and spending time at the beach. So today she's going to tell us all about the foundations of FlipGrid, which is Microsoft's video discussion platform for millions of educators and pupils around the world. During this session, hopefully you'll learn everything you need to know about creating your free FlipGrid account, getting started and finding inspiration from fellow educators. And as an educator who has spent a lot of time using FlipGrid, I really do believe that this is an amazing tool. Anthony Salcito, who's the Vice President of Education Worldwide for Microsoft, was raving about it yesterday in his keynote. So this is an amazing tool. Thank you for being here. I'm going to hand over to Jess, who is going to tell you all about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. All right, so hello everyone. As Michael said, my name is Jess Boyce. I'm across the pond I'm actually in Georgia in the United States right now. I'm visiting some family. So I was a teacher for 10 years. And what's interesting is I actually was using FlipGrid in my classroom in the last couple of years that I was in there, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I was so impressed by the way my pupils were able to share their voice and communicate with one another. And so I also fell in love with teaching teachers, and I knew that there was only one thing I wanted to do. So I joined the FlipGrid team about 2 years ago so that I was able to help more students, help more pupils by helping more teachers. So that is exactly what my role is. I get the great pleasure of doing things like this and getting to share something that I absolutely love. So today's going to be pretty laid back. I'm just going to share my screen and go into the platform for the entire time. And you'll see up over in this corner, there's a chat box. So if you have any questions throughout, please don't hesitate to drop them in there. And Michael will be watching on the back end, so he'll answer any to the best of his ability. But at the end as well, I'll have some time. And Michael, like I told you, feel free to interrupt me if there's a really important question that needs to happen right at that moment. You can interrupt and we'll answer it right then. But otherwise, at the end, we'll do some questions and we'll go through some things. So I'm going to just go ahead and share my screen with you, and we're going to hop right in. And I'm going to show you some awesome things. All right. So we should be good to go. Okay, so right here you will see I am just at flipgrid.com. This is the basic website that your students will go to. And as an educator or a pupil, you go to this website. Pupils do not have an account. It is only for the educators. But you will notice here, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, this white box here that says enter a flip code. This is where your students will be putting in the code that they are using in order to join the grid. So I'm actually going to put in the code certified here because I want to show you what a full grid looks like. Okay, so here, this is a grid that already has almost 10,000 responses on it, but I just want to scroll through and show you that this is what it looks like whenever a grid is full of people's voices. So every single smile that you see here, this represents someone's unique voice. So picture this being your pupils as they're sharing and getting to talk to one another. So I just want you to kind of take that in and think about it from that perspective. And that's what it looks like. All right, I'm going to go back to flipgrid.com. And you'll see in the upper right-hand corner, there's a couple of different links there for you. So the first one is for remote learning. So whenever we all moved to remote learning back in March, we wanted to make sure that you all had the appropriate resources that you needed for your students. So I know that some are back in the classroom. Some are waiting for a little bit, but this is a great place. And so if you click on here, you'll see that there are all sorts of resources that you can have that you can use for your students. So there's this PDF right here that gives you ways that you can get started and different tips. And then there's also videos and a Word document that you can send home for families so that they understand how to join. So a lot of times it's hard, right, whenever you're trying to explain how to get set up on something, but you're not with your pupils in person. So this is a great way for them to get started. We have links to our webinars. So like I'm doing right now, we actually do them every single week. So there's links there, the Help Center, all sorts of different things. So feel free to check that out. And then the other link on flipgrid.com is this resources. And this is really your one-stop shop. I always say, if you remember nothing else, remember to go to flipgrid.com and click on that resources tab. And so you'll see here that there's a getting started guide, there's the remote learning again, the professional development, we have integration docs. So these are age and subject specific resources that you can use. So say you teach year 6 math, which is what I taught, then you can go in and you'll find a specific document for that age and for that subject that gives you ideas of how you can incorporate FlipGrid into your classroom. And then as well, it has the 3 teachers that are on the team, myself, Anna, and Jornay, and our contact information right there. So you'll see this first one is our social media handles, but then also our email addresses. So you can feel free to reach out at any point. So when this is over, if you think about a question that you had that maybe you forgot to ask or we didn't get a chance to get to, feel free to send me an email and I'm absolutely happy to answer at any time. Now I'm going to show you this help center here. Oops, let me zoom in a little bit. All right, this help center is a really great space for you to use. I'm going to go ahead and click into it. So this is anything that you have questions on. I always say go here first and see if you can find it, because we have a team that spends so much time getting everything you could possibly have, every question you might have together and answering it here for you. So it's got some different categories here, some different featured articles, a way that you can, maybe if you don't find your answer, you can actually click down here and you can send an email over to our support team, but you can also search. So maybe you want to know about feedback. And you search into that and you can see that there's already articles popping up right here. So I can just click on one of those and you'll see that the article will pop up and all of them give you step-by-step directions, as well as, I'm not sure why it's not loading right here, but there's a little video that'll walk you through the exact steps as well. So each of those things, it's a really great place. So any questions that you might have, you should definitely get started here because you can pretty much find all of them. So I always say stop there first before you send an email, just in case, but then always reach out. We are happy to help. All right, I am going to go back to flipgrid.com and I'm going to go ahead and log into the platform. So you'll see this big colorful button here in the middle or the blue button in the upper right hand corner where it says educator sign up. And something that you need to know is that FlipGrid is 100% free and it will always be 100% free. We joined Microsoft a little over 2 years ago, and the big thing was we wanted to make sure that it was accessible for every educator. So that moment made it free, and it will continue to be so forever. So if you do not have an account, then you will go ahead and sign up right there using your Google or Microsoft credentials. It takes maybe 30 seconds to create an account. It's very easy. But I'm going to go ahead and click Educator Login since I already have an account. Let me close some of these windows here. All right. So now whenever you log in, it takes you to your educator dashboard. So you will see at the very top, it is on My Grid. So this is the page that it's always going to load into. And you'll see that all of the grids that I have are listed right there. I've got 85 grids, which you can have as many or as little as you want. But I'm actually going to show you how to add a new one. So we're going to click that button here that says Add New Grid, and the launch pad is going to pop up. Now your grid is your learning community. So this is whoever it is that you're using FlipGrid with. So if you have, this can be year 2 in your class, and then I'm not sure how it works in the UK, but in America, so I taught year 6 math, but I had a lot of different classes. So I would set mine up for period 1, period 2, period 3. I'm not sure if you do that or if you have them all the same day or the whole day. But you can set this up however you want it. So maybe it's your book club with your friends, or a group of teachers that are working together. That can be your community as well. So whoever it is that's answering these questions, that's going to be who you create your grid for. So we'll just say Year 3 Science for this example. All right, and so then we will use the school email domain. So we have a couple of options actually. So we have the school email domain, which is if you are a Google or Microsoft school, then you will use that one. And your students can just log into the grid with their O365 or their G Suite credentials. So the regular way that they will log into their computer. I know whenever I was at Broadcast, it was a Microsoft school. So everyone would use their Office 365 credentials in order to get into the grid. And then the student ID list is for those schools that do not have email addresses. And so this, or for younger pupils, so this is actually putting in a roster of your students, and then they can use an identifier. So it can be as little as 2 characters, so their initials or their classroom number, things like that, and they can use that to authenticate into the grid. And then the third one is the educator learning community, and this is a public grid. So this is a better one to use with educators. So like I said, if you wanted to do a book club or something like that, but we don't recommend using that with students because they need, it's public, so they need to be 16 or older. And then whoever is using the public grid, they will authenticate in with their personal email addresses. So we're going to use school email for this demonstration. And then at the bottom here, you'll see it says create a flip code. Now what automatically happens is your last name and some random numbers, but you can change this to whatever you want. I always say, let's see, we did Year 3 Science. I always say make it something that your students can remember. So we'll go Boyce Year 3 Science. So that your students can easily access it. So then I'm going to go ahead and click the next button. And here's where we add the email domain. So this is anything that's after the @ symbol. You do not have to actually put in your pupils' email addresses. You just need that domain there. So on mine, it says flipgrid.com because that is my email domain. But you can add whatever it is for yours. Now, sometimes students have a different email address. So it might be something like this for the school. Oops. This for the school, but the pupil might be STU or something like that. Again, I'm not 100% sure if that's something that happens in the UK or if that's only an American thing. But if you have 2 different domains for the educators and for the pupils, make sure that you add them both in here so that everyone can access the grid. So then I'm going to go ahead and click next. And that's it. That's all that we need to do in order for the grid to be created. So you'll see here there's some different share options. So you can just copy and paste the link to your pupils wherever you communicate with them. But we also have here an option to take the embed code. So maybe if you want to add this to a website or something like that. We have share to Microsoft Teams, share to Google Classroom, and then share on Remind. So whatever way it is that you're communicating with your pupils, there is a way for you to use FlipGrid with them. To share your FlipGrid. So sometimes we get questions about, well, what if I use Schoology or Class Dojo or Seesaw or something like that? And you can simply just copy and paste, and that'll be the way to do it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click Go to Grid because we have created it. And so you'll see here that we already have one topic inside of the grid that we created, this Say Hello. This is automatically created every time you make a grid. But I'm going to show you how to add a new topic instead. So I'm going to hit Add New Topic. And it's going to open with the topic essentials. So there's a few things that you need to include in order for your students to get started. So we need a topic title. What did we say? This was science class. Okay, talking about cells. All right, so you have a title and then a topic prompt. So I'm going to type something, but I'm going to be quiet for a second because I can't talk and type at the same time. We'll just make it quick. Oops. So So maybe this is something that we're doing at the beginning of the lesson before we've taught them anything. So tell me everything you know about cells. So students will have a chance to go in and share and maybe just leave it open-ended like that so that you know how much they know beforehand so you know what to teach them. Okay. And then we have the recording time. So this can be, the default is 90 seconds, but it can be as little as 15 seconds all the way up to 10 minutes. So definitely just be intentional about what it is that you're asking of your students, especially for younger pupils. I know that if I gave them 10 minutes to tell me their name, they might spend all 10 minutes telling me their name, and you're the one who's watching all of these videos. So just be intentional about that time. I'm going to give 1 minute. And then our next option right here is video moderation. So you can turn that on or turn it off. And what that means is whenever it's on, new videos will come straight to you only, and the rest of the pupils won't see each other's videos. You personally will have to activate them in order for them to see them. But when it's off, when they record, it's on the grid and the other pupils in the class can see it. So that's up to you. It's your discretion of whether or not you want to include, if you want it to be moderated. And now here we have the topic focus. So you'll see there's lots of different options. This is optional. However, it's a great way to engage your students, to kind of give them something before they actually answer the question. So whether you record your own video or add in a YouTube link, you can put in a picture, an emoji, you can add all these things down here. So a Bunsey, a Nearpod presentation, all sorts of different things that you can have for your students to engage with first. Maybe you want them to watch this TED Talk and then reflect, or something like that. So there's all sorts of different options. I'm going to add an emoji just to be quick. Let's see, science, and see what we get. Okay, we'll use this. And then you do have some other options here at the bottom, but I'm not going to go through all of those because I don't want to overwhelm you right now. But I would definitely encourage you to at some point go through and play with those and see what other options you have. And then if this is something that you love, if you know every single time you want your recording time to be 1 minute and you want video moderation to be on, you can actually click down here, save changes to my default settings. And so then every time you create a new topic, it will be 1 minute and moderated. So you can choose to do that if you know that you'll be consistent across the board. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit create topic. And just like that, our topic is ready. So you'll see there's the same share options that we had with the grid. I'm going to click all set, and our topic is done. So you'll see here that we have the title, we've got the prompt here, and everything that is in the prompt is actually able to be played through the immersive reader. So I'm going to click on that. I'm not sure that you'll be able to hear it because I didn't share my audio with you. But what happens is whenever you click on this, it becomes a situation where it will read the text to the pupils. And they have different options here where they can change for visual supports. They can change the contrast. They can change the font. They can increase the size, and every pupil has access to do this. So anything that is written in that text, in that prompt, they can use the immersive reader and it will add in supports. So then there's different, if they're learning about nouns and verbs, you can turn that on, you can turn on syllabication. And then as well as different reading preferences, there's this picture dictionary, and what that means is when they hover over a word, it will show them a picture so that they can identify there we go. So that they can kind of use some connections in order to know what the word is. And then we also have the option to translate. So if you have students who are learning English as their second language, then they can use this and they can translate it, and that way they can have it in their native language as well as the original one. All right, I'm going to close out of that. And now I'm going to show you how to record a response. So Michael, if you would, could you turn off my camera for a moment so that I can launch this window so that they'll be able to see what the camera looks like? All right, so once you share your topic with your students, I'm going to show you what it looks like on their side. But you can also, you'll see right here, it has the option to record a response. And this is allowing you to record a response as a student so that they will see it as well. All right, so let me see here if I can. I don't know if I have the option to turn off. Michael, could you turn off my camera for me, please? Oh, wait, maybe I can do it here. There we go. Okay, I did it. There we go. All right, great. Perfect, thank you. Okay, so whenever you launch the recorder, this is both what you will see and what your pupils will see when they launch the recorder. It's going to look the same, whether it's on the educator side or the pupils side. So you'll see the reminder here that we have 1 minute to record because that's what we set as our time. Up in the right-hand corner here, you'll see their time limit. You'll see this white book here, which is a reminder of what the topic was. If they forgot what the question was, they can hit that and it'll show them what the topic is. And then here, this sticky note is a place where they can say, where they can write notes to themselves. So we're talking about cells. So maybe I want to talk about the parts of a cell, what a cell does, just different things like this. It's for, this doesn't show up in the video, but it's for pupils to be able to remind themselves of what it is that they wanted to talk about. So they can use as many of those as they want and kind of line the page so that they can have talking points, they can have notes. So now at the bottom here, you'll notice all of these different buttons, and I'm going to walk you through those. So you'll see there's different filters that your pupils can use to add a fun effect to their videos. My favorite one is the pixel mode. So if you have a pupil who's a little bit shy and doesn't necessarily want their face on the camera, you can still tell who it is, but it gives them a little better of a feeling that they're being blocked a little bit. So I'm going to go to this one. That's my favorite. All right, so there's lots of different text options. So we're going to go here. And they can change the color of the text. They can change the background color, all sorts of different creative ways that your students can decorate their video. And you'll notice there's a couple of options here that they can duplicate, they can delete, nice and easy. All right, so we'll go all about cells. Oops. And then there's stickers. So this is a full emoji keyboard, but then at the bottom here, you'll also see there's people, there's fun accessories, hats and glasses. There are different reactions. So I really like these, the speech bubbles. I'm going to use that one. All right, so I'm going to go like this. All right, and I'll put this in the speech bubble. Whoopsie. Okay, there we go. All right, and so there's also options for live inking. So for drawing, so maybe I'm going to draw a cell right here. Clearly, I wasn't a science teacher. This is what I think a cell looks like, right? But all right, so they can draw. There's also the option for whiteboard or blackboard. So this is really helpful too. Again, if you have students, like I said, that don't want to be seen, or as a math teacher, I can picture my pupils being able to write out math problems while they're on this on the whiteboard or blackboard and talking through those processes. And then you also have the option to add in a photo sticker. So this is anything that is saved on, let's see, anything that's saved on your computer. So maybe maybe I would look up a picture of a cell. Let me see, actually, I'll do that really quickly. So I can look up a picture of a cell and I can save that to my computer. Okay, this one. Save image. Okay, and then when I'm in here, I can go to add a photo sticker and I can add this image here. So your students can really do a lot of things. I've seen people that had interviews with William Shakespeare and they had a picture of him and they could talk back and forth, all sorts of different things. So let me delete that. There's a picture of a cell. So all sorts of different options. And honestly, we actually just had last Monday, we had our big event called FlipGrid Live, where we announced all of our new features that are coming. So there's even more things that are coming to the camera, so much more than what was shared here. And I will, at the end, I'm going to drop in the blog post for you so that you can at least look at what all of the new updates are and see the extra fun things that are coming. We have, the whiteboard that you can split it in half. So half will be your video and half will be the whiteboard. All sorts of incredible different things, frames and GIFs that you can add right into the video, different things like that. So once your students have exactly what it is that they need, then they can go ahead and hit record and it will give them a countdown. And they can record their video. Hi, I'm Jess, and I'm telling you everything that I know about cells. I tried to draw one, but I didn't do a very good job. So then I went and got a picture, and this is a human or animal cell. This is what it looks like. All right, and so after they record, they can click the next button and go ahead and watch it and see if they like it or not. If they made a mistake, they can trim some pieces off. Maybe if someone sneezed at the end or something like that, they can go ahead and make it change to however they want. Now, if your pupil thinks, oh my goodness, I forgot to say something, there's this add more button here in the review step. So they can click add more and actually it will take them back to where they were and they can add another piece. So I'm going to clear that. I'm going to show you these three dots here under the A. We have a screen recording option. And so students can screen record anything that they want. So let's go here, human cell. Again, and we'll click on this. Okay, and then we're going to start screen recording. And I'll click here, share. And so you'll see there's a video of me in the corner and students can be talking through, here's a cell and look, you'll see the ribosome and plasma and all these sorts of things. And so they can talk through the different things. So this is great for a PowerPoint presentation that they're going through, things like that. And so you'll see now when we get to the review step, we have the very first one that we recorded, and then we've got the second one here, which was the screen recording. All right. And so you can actually switch these pieces. Maybe you want this in the front. Oops. You can drag and drop them however you want. All right. And one of the newer features, you'll actually be able to split those as well. So if you have a piece here that you want to split up into a different one, you can. All right. I'm going to go ahead and click next, and they take their selfie. And every option that you had with the camera whenever you were recording, you can also do whenever you are taking your selfie. So we'll just do this pixel mode, and I'm going to go ahead and click next, and then we will submit the video. And just like that, the video is on the grid. So from the teacher side, this is what it looks like. I'm going to click here and show you what it looks like as a student. All right, so whenever a student puts in the flip code, they'll see this. Log in. All right, I'll log in with my account. And this will be the way that their teacher had told them to do it. All right, and so they'll log in, and this is what it looks like for the student, just like that certified grid I showed you at first. And then you'll see here that the video that we had just done has shown up. So they'll just click this green button in order to record their response. But on the educator side, it pops up like this, and as students are recording videos, they will all be in a row. And you can click right on that to watch. And you can give feedback to them right there. So you can record video feedback. And this is private. It only goes to the pupil. It's not for everybody to see, but you can also give them written feedback. And this can be shared with them. You can either send the email or you can copy the feedback link and share it with them wherever it is that you communicate with them digitally, and they'll be able to come and see your feedback. Now, if you want the response to be public, you can actually hit reply. And students can do this as well. Pupils can do it, excuse me. So this would be a reply to that specific video. Great job, you really know a lot about cells. I can't wait until we learn about even more. All right, and same process. They'll take their selfie and hit next. All right, and so you'll see here that the video is there, the original, but then at the bottom now there's this recording, there's this reply to them. So you can do that as the educator if you want it to be a reply that all of the pupils see, or you could send them the private feedback if you want it to go just to them. And that's what it'll look like if a pupil replies to them as well. I'm going to refresh this page. Oops. All right, and you'll see here that on the main screen, they have the video, and then in this upper little corner, they can know that someone replied to them because there's that little bubble there. All right, I'm going to show you 2 more things, and then I know we've got to do some questions. All righty, so I'm going to show you the Disco Library. So up at the top here, I'm going to click on Disco Library, and what this is a place where educators from all over the world have put in topics that they think are really great, and it's there for everyone to actually, hold on, I'm going to turn my camera back on so you all can see me. All right, there we go. Okay, so it's a place where they can go and they can grab resources. They're ready to launch topics. So you'll see here that we've got some trending ones. It says weekly hits. So these are the most popular from the week. And then we've got these featured disco playlists. So these are from different partners. You'll see Nearpod and Skype in the Classroom, Hacking STEM, Find Your Grind, Flowcabulary, all sorts of different partners that have created content specifically for us. This is all completely free content so that you can actually find topics that you like and you can add them to your grid for your pupils. And you'll notice there's 22,000 topics here that have been created. So I'll look maybe this one right here from our friend Bex over in Wales. So I can look at it and see, oh, I love this topic. I think it would be great for my students. So I'm going to select a grid and then we'll put it into year 3 science and hit add. And this will take that topic and it will become editable so that I can add it to my grid and I can make any changes that I wanted. So maybe I loved this topic, except I wanted to change it to be a 2-minute time and I wanted it to be moderated. So I can go in and I can make those necessary changes and then hit update, and this will go right into my grid. So now you'll see in our year 3 science grid, we have the say hello topic that was created automatically. We have the topic that we just created together talking about cells, and now we have this other topic that we brought over from the Discovery Library. So it's a really great place for you to go and search for any topics that you might be interested in. So I'm going to go, okay, we said that we were year 3, so I'm going to hit ages 5 to 10, and then science. So you can actually filter the topics. So I put those in, and then you'll see we have 8,000 topics that are available for us. And so then you have all of these different ones that you can come in and you can look through and decide what it is that you like, or you can search by keywords, different things like that. So you have lots of options. And this is a great place, you know, if you create something and you think that it's a great topic and you want to share it, you can actually add any of your own topics to the Disco Library. So I'm going to show you, if I go back to my grid, to the year 3 science, and this talking about cells, I can actually hit actions, and there's a spot right here that says add to Disco Library, so we can do that. All right, so I am going to actually stop there because I know we only have 10 more minutes and I want to make sure we have time for questions. So Michael, do we have any questions?
No, we don't actually have any questions. If anyone does have any, please do type away. But yeah, not at the moment, I'm afraid, Jess.
No, that's no problem at all. So then while we give people some time in order to drop in questions, I'm going to show you the blog post that I discussed that shows all of the updates to the camera. So again, I will make sure to drop that in the chat. But it's going to show you that there's all sorts of different things that are coming on August 1st, and then some will be further in the fall. But there's actually videos that are put together here so you can watch through and see what new things are coming. But then if you want to read about them as well, you can see here boards, fonts, filters, frames, and stickers. And then actually a lot is changing to the way that FlipGrid looks as well. So, so you'll want to, I know it's hard that I'm teaching you one way and then it may look quite different come August, but you'll at least be able to get a preview and see what it's going to be looking like. So students or pupils will be able to give text comments as well as replies via video, which I think is going to be a really big thing. And then you'll see all of the differences down here as well. So I would definitely encourage taking some time and going through that so that you can see as well. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. There we go. All right, and I'm going to actually drop that in the chat right now for you. Okay, so that is the blog post for the FlipGrid Live announcements. And then I'm also going to drop in for you the resources page, because I know that I threw a lot of information at you. Oh, great. I see a question right now. Someone said, is there an app? Because so few of their students have computers at home. And yes, there absolutely is. Thank you for bringing that up. So we are web-based, as you saw, but there is also a completely free app for iOS and Android. It's just called FlipGrid. So pupils can download that and they can use it as well. And everything that I showed you there with the camera is exactly the same. So they'll be able to record their videos on their phones as well, or iPads. Yeah, and it works just the same, and they can reply to each other on there as well. That was a great question. Thank you. So like I said, I know that was a ton of information. So there is that blog.flipgrid.com/amplify that I just dropped in the chat is going to give you those resources so that you can, if you want to go back through and kind of take in some of that information, you absolutely can. And then I'm going to put my email address there as well. So that if you have additional questions, you can always feel free to reach out to me if, sometimes as soon as these things are over, you think about the question that you wanted to ask. So it's just jess@flipgrid.com, and you can feel free to reach out to me anytime.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Jess. We really appreciated that, and thank you for giving up your time to run the session. For those of you that are on, please do just give FlipGrid a go. It's really transformed the way we work and the way I teach. Actually, it's been amazing just to see how it's improved the confidence and the engagement and the love of learning in lots of my students here in Devon. So thanks, Jess, and thank you everyone who's joined us today. And we look forward to hopefully hearing some success stories of how it's really empowered your students' voice. So thank you, Jess, and hopefully everyone. Thank you. And just to let people know, we've got a closing keynote now in a couple of minutes at 1:15 from Mark Sparvel, who is a really exciting, interesting speaker. He's talking about what matters most in this reimagined education that we're living in at the moment. So thank you very much, everyone, and all the best.